Hey everyone, how's it going? So before we get started with today's video, if you could hit that like button, if you could please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And please share my videos too. It does help me out quite a bit. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about giving estimates to customers and giving estimates over the phone. We've actually stopped doing that. We won't give you an estimate over the phone anymore. We'll give you a roundabout, hey, it could be between $1,000 and $3,000, or it could be between $100 and $500, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to give you a prime example of something that just happened. We had a customer call last week, and we happened to be working on a Subaru very similar to her. She says, I have a Subaru Impreza, and the issue that I'm having is this, it's setting this code, and somebody told me it probably needs a valve body. Yes, for that particular code, whatever the code was, I don't remember. It probably needs a valve body, but we have to diagnose it first. Well, I already had it diagnosed. Okay, that's fantastic. Who diagnosed it? AutoZone. No, they didn't diagnose it. They just scanned it for codes. It's all they did. And nothing against AutoZone. I like AutoZone. I deal with them. But when you have a place like that scan your codes, and it's, of course they give you a printout, and the most common failure for that particular code happens to be whatever. They give you a printout and they explain it to you because they're trying to sell you parts. That's how that works. They're trying to sell you parts. However, that may not be the be-all, end-all of what the issue is. Most likely, that's what the problem is, okay? And we had a Subaru Impreza in at that particular time, and we were doing a valve body in it. There's two different versions of that, depending on the year of the vehicle. One of them, the valve body, is actually located at the top of the transmission, and you can get to it from under the hood. It's there. It's not that difficult to do. That particular one runs about $1,300 to $1,600 to replace the valve body. That's parts, labor, fluids, whatever else. It runs around $1,300 to $1,600. So that's what we told her. Be like $1,300 to $1,600 if that's what's actually wrong. But we should actually diagnose it first. And diagnosis is included in that $1,300 to $1,600. But if you decide not to have us repair it, then it's a $150 fee for us to do the diagnostics. Okay, a week goes by, she calls back, and she says, I brought my car to another shop, and they diagnosed it for me. Okay, why'd you bring it to another shop? Well, we told you we could diagnose it for free. Well, I brought it to another shop, they diagnosed it, and they said, yes, it is the valve body. Okay, great. But they're telling me it's going to be about $2,700 to put a valve body in it. Well, are you still going to honor your $1,300 that you quoted me? What? No. We told you it's probably somewhere between $1,300 and $1,600, but we can't be certain. We have to diagnose it first. If you don't want us to diagnose it, which I don't understand, some people still don't want us to diagnose it. Some people want us to throw parts at stuff. We offer our diagnostics, and if you do the repair with us, we give you credit for the diagnostic fee. And like I said, the diagnostic fee is whatever it is, $138 plus tax. It comes out to $150. So we give you that back at the end. Why would you not do that? Why would you not let us diagnose it? Anyway, going off a little bit. So she says, well, we still honor the $1,300. No, we won't honor the $1,300 because we don't even know. We said it probably will run around $1,300 to $1,600. Probably. We don't know exactly what's wrong with your car. We don't even have your car here to look at. What if there's other stuff going on? Something's been modified, something's been changed, something's been damaged, something that's rusty. We don't know. We have no idea. We don't have the car in front of us. So we're explaining this to her, and she says, well, the other shop originally quoted me about $1,900, and then when I brought it to them, they're telling me it's going to be about $2,700 because this valve body is located at the bottom of the pan, not at the top of the pan. Oh, see, here we go. Things have changed. This is not what we initially spoke about. What we initially spoke about was if your vehicle, your Subaru, has this valve body in this location, this is what it's going to run, something in this area, if that's what the problem is. There again, we still have to diagnose it. Whether you want us to or not, we want to diagnose it. But if you don't want us to diagnose it, then and you want us to throw a part at it, that's fine, as long as you're paying for it. We will guarantee nothing except our labor at that point in time. Did we do the job right? So she's actually arguing with us on the phone that we told her $1,300 is what it was going to cost. Let her go, let her go, let her go. Okay, ma'am. Every single one of our phone calls is recorded. Every single one. So we can go back and we can listen to the recording where we told you it's between $1,300 and $1,600 if this is the actual problem. Okay? And if it is the valve body at the top of the transmission, just like the other Subaru Impreza we were doing. Apparently, hers was like a 1 year older than the one we were doing or something along those lines. So yeah, and I mean, just sitting there and complaining about our pricing. First off, you've never come here for anything before, ever. So that's why we don't really do that. We'll give you a roundabout. We're not going to sit there and quote out, hey, and we get it all the time. Hey, I got cracked manifolds, or I got an exhaust leak on my Silverado or my Dodge pickup. And how much is it going to be to fix that? I haven't the slightest idea. You can't give me a roundabout figure? No, I can't. Not even a ballpark? Yeah, somewhere between $500 and $3,000. That's all I can tell you. I mean, people get upset. Okay, that's fine. But if you can't be bothered, if the customer cannot be bothered to bring their car to us to at least look at it, why should we spend our time on the phone with you, or with that person, and give estimates? Who's paying us for that amount of time? Now, granted, we may be on the phone for 10 minutes, could be on the phone for 15 minutes, whatever it is. Just say, let's use the higher number. Let's say it's 15 minutes. We get at least 3 to 4 phone calls a day where people are asking us for pricing over the phone. That's an hour's worth of productivity down the toilet by the end of the day, because nobody's paying us for that. If you want us to look at your car, we will. And like I said, if you don't want us to fix it, there's a charge. If you want us to fix it, we will credit that charge back. It'll show up on your bill. But there'll be a credit at the last line on the bill, crediting you for that amount of time and dollars that you spent. So, I'm just not understanding why this is such a problem for people. It's like, if you can't be bothered because it's too time consuming for you to get off your butt to come to us. Now, I understand if your car is broken down. I get it. But there again, if your car is broken down and it's undrivable, how do we know if that's the only problem you have? You follow? It's like, we don't have a crystal ball. We're not magicians. We're not mind readers. But in this business, you kind of have to be like psychologists and doctors and electricians and plumbers and auto mechanics. You got to be a little bit of everything in this business, especially psychologists. You got to understand people and read people, because I tell you what, sometimes people can be out there, But yeah, so we've actually stopped giving estimates over the phone. We'll give you a roundabout. That's it. We're not going to spend our time. We're not going to waste our time going and seeing what something's going to cost for you over the phone, so you can price shop with other shops, and then you're still going to go to whoever's the cheapest. We're not the cheapest. I'll tell you that right now. We're not the cheapest. We never claimed to be the cheapest. I am not the cheapest mechanic out there, even when I do stuff at my house. And people know that. I am not the cheapest, and I never will be. Why should I lower myself to that level of being the least expensive around just to get somebody to bring their car to me? If that's what they're looking for, I don't want that person as a customer. I know that might sound harsh, but it's the truth. I told you guys before, I had one customer in particular when I was out on the beach. And the customer brought an F-150 to me. And I did whatever the repair was. And had something to do, it was a Ford F-150 with a 5.4. And I believe it had the runner valve issue at the back of the intake. And I fixed it for him. It's a time-consuming repair. It's a labor-intensive repair. But I fixed it. Of course, when I realized what the problem was, I called him and told him, hey, it's going to be this amount of money. And the guy's like, whew, okay. All right, well, you got it there, you got it apart, you may as well fix it. Okay, so I did. The Car left, truck left. I didn't see the guy for about almost a year, I think. Didn't see him for almost a year. Now, he got referred to me by somebody else. Matter of fact, he got referred to me by the guy who gave me the truck, the one where he brings his truck, 3.5 hours to me for me to work on his trucks. That guy, and who's still, I still work on his stuff. So he was recommended by that guy. So it was about a year, almost a year later, all of a sudden this guy messages me, hey, can you take a look at my other truck? Sure, no problem. So he comes and he brings his other truck to me and he says, man, he goes, I got to tell you something. He goes, I originally wasn't going to come back to you because I thought you were too expensive. So I was like, okay. He says, but when you fixed my truck, he goes, it's still fixed. He goes, you fixed it once and it's still fixed. He goes, I bring my truck anywhere else. And he goes, and I did afterwards because I thought you were too expensive. He goes, and these other people can't fix anything. He says, I got to go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. He goes, and it's always something else and it's always another bill. He goes, I spend more money and time, that time I could be spending doing things for my business, I spend going back and forth to this mechanic. He goes, but with you, he goes, I just dropped it off. He goes, you took your time. He goes, you figured it out. You fixed it. And I didn't have to come back. He goes, that's worth more to me than anything. Okay, well, I never claimed to be the cheapest, and I never will. So, but you know what? When I work on your vehicle, I have a conscience. I want to make sure it's fixed right. I actually I have problems sleeping at night when I have a problem vehicle. When I have something that just isn't going right. Like that transmission job that I had to do 4 times. Like, what am I missing? Or actually, I had to do it 3 times. That was the 4th rebuild. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel bad for customers. I really do. And I do give breaks on stuff. But it's just like, if I'm going to do the job, I have to make money doing it. And it's just how it is. I will not give it away for free. But there again, like what that guy said was, I didn't have to bring it back and forth to you because that's a waste of my time. Giving estimates over the phone is a waste of our time. Who pays for that? Nobody. Nobody. The shop has to eat that time. So if you're calling around looking for pricing and you go with the cheapest person, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. Look at people's reputation first. It really does make a difference. So anyway, I hope you got something out of that. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. I just finished having lunch, so I'm kind of like burpy. Anyway, that's about it. All right, guys. Have a great day and keep wrenching. Thank you.